Hey everybody, so today I am here to show you guys our favorite educational printouts. First and foremost, I want to say that I did not create any of these. I'm going to have a link for every single worksheet linked down below. I did my best to make sure that I was getting the actual links to them, not like going to a website that then redirects you and you have to try and find it or anything like that. And all of these printouts were free. Now, some of them you had to do this thing on people's websites where you added to cart and you technically checked out, but it didn't ask you for your credit card information or for you to actually buy them. And there was also ones where you had to sign up for their newsletter, which you can easily unsubscribe to if you don't want to stay subscribed to it, to get these. So there isn't always just a click to download feature. Sometimes you gotta work for it a little bit, but nonetheless they were all free. And I did laminate all of these. The laminator that I use is a Scotch brand. I will also have my laminator, my laminating sheets, and also a couple extra goodies you'll see that pertain to these linked down below for you guys as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I have a massive pile, and I feel like this is probably gonna be like a multi-series because I'm not done. I love printing these out. The girls love doing them, so I feel like this definitely isn't going to be the last of our printouts, but I do want to share them because we do have a substantial amount now and I feel like it could be beneficial. You guys have seen on my Instagram that I've been loving these and loving laminating them because I don't know why laminating is fun, but it is. But like I said, I didn't make any of these, so I'm going to make sure to give credit for those who did. A lot of these came from homeschool sites and stuff like that, so obviously moms are taking their time, they're creating stuff for other moms to use. So I want to make sure to give credit where credit is due. And the first thing, and one of the first things that I ever printed out, and these are mainly for Sophie, are these different shapes, and I'm gonna have to hold all these at an angle so it doesn't glare for you guys, but it's just different shapes that you can trace. So as you can see, it's just dotted lines, and even the words up here they're able to trace. So I printed out triangle, square, circle, no back to that one, diamond, oval, and then star. There was also a couple other ones, like I think rhombus, and I can't remember the other one, but they were ones that she doesn't know yet, and I felt like we can take our time getting to know how to trace these shapes, and I didn't want to introduce anything else to her just right away. And this was also the time that I started realizing that I could double-side my lamination. So these ones aren't double-sided, but these ones are. So you'll see here that I played around with that as much as I could, but those have been really great. She doesn't trace the letters as much as she just likes tracing the shapes, but nonetheless it's been super helpful. But the next thing is something that took a lot of time, a lot of paper, and my husband rolled his eyes really hard when he saw it. But it is the complete alphabet uppercase for traceable letters. So it does have 2 rows of letters up here. It does have a corresponding picture, and then it also has just a word to go with the letter. So these are all double-sided. It's A through Z. So as you can see, you know, B for bird, A for apple, C for car, stuff like that. But it's the entire alphabet, and I highly recommend double-siding these because there is so many. It'll save you a lot of time. You're gonna have to bear with the lighting because it's not gonna like me getting up close and coming back away. But yeah, these have been awesome. I liked the size of these because I felt like they weren't too big, not too small, a nice median for Sophie to get used to tracing with. She really does like these, but I think I'm gonna have to start splitting them up because to do the entire alphabet with 2 lines each, we get about 3/4 the way through, and then she is totally over it. Up next is something that was technically supposed to be for cutting paper, but I turned it into tracing again. But this is technically supposed to be for cutting, but I printed it out and laminated it so we could do it for tracing. So we have this side, and then this is just a separate sheet that I put on the back. But there was a whole thing that went with that. It was like a set for a homeschool activity. I can't remember what was all in it, but there was quite a bit of stuff, but I just printed out that part. And I guess I should mention there was a lot of stuff that was like that, like it will come in packs with other things, but when you go to print, you can print certain pages. So if you want only certain things, that's what you can print out and that's what you can laminate, which is what I did with a lot of this stuff. You're printing what works for your family. The next thing is something I was really excited about, and it is name tracing. So it might be oh, there we go, we're picking it up now. So I have Sophie's and I also have Remy's. Obviously Remy is nowhere near close to tracing her name, but I figured when the time comes and even her sister can get used to tracing those certain letters. But I like how big it is and I like that it's their name. I do plan on printing out also their middle name and our last name so that way they can trace those as well. But this is really awesome. You just put it in their little generator and it makes the sheet, and I don't know what else to say about it other than it's really awesome. Sophie likes tracing her name, she knows that's her name, and she got so excited when she saw that. Next up is something that I was really excited about because I've been going back and forth between maybe getting a mat or a map or a puzzle or something for Sophie, and I settled with this printout. It is of all the continents, and basically it comes in two different sheets. There's going to be a sheet of paper that has the continents like this on it, and then it's going to be a sheet of paper underneath that has the blank out of there. So you're gonna have to cut these out, and then you got to laminate these, and then I just put Velcro dots on the back of these, and that way she can match them. And I just really liked this one. It was simple, the font wasn't crazy, it was just pretty basic, and that's the reason why I went with this one. And I did want to mention that if you are doing something like this where you're going to have little pieces of laminated stuff, you'll want to space those out. You guys will see here in a second that I made something for Remy and I didn't do this. It turned out just fine, but it does work better if you space them out, and then that way you can trim around them and stuff like that, and it's not like you're cutting into actual paper after you've laminated it. But this has been really awesome. I just pull all these off before I give her this bottom sheet, and the Velcro is nothing too crazy. It's things that she can pull off and she can put back on, but this has been a really fun matching game and just getting to know the world. Next up is more tracing, and this is what it looks like. Now with this one's just single-sided, but this one I decided to put a piece of paper in between both of these sheets, because even if you hold it up to the light, which you guys can't really see, but when I hold it up to the light I can still see the other lines through it, so I was trying to prevent that as much as possible. When I sit it down on her table it doesn't show through, so it's pretty good. But I just wanted some more basic lines for her to get used to tracing. I just thought it'd be, you know, a good introduction to different lines and shapes and letters and things like that. Next up is something that's a little out of Sophie's range right now, but we still pull it out and we work with what we can, and it is different Phonics matching sheets. These are two separate ones, so I'll make sure that there's two separate links for you guys, but basically it just has a picture for each different letter of the alphabet. And if you have any kind of magnetic letters at home, which we own the Hape ones, you can just sit this down and you can have them put the corresponding letter over top of the picture. Now Sophie doesn't know all of her letter sounds, so we really can't do all of these, but we do the ones that she does know, and just kind of like a challenge. And this is the other sheet. I liked these ones because they weren't super cartoonish, and I felt like they were about as realistic as I could find. I try to do real pictures when I can find them, but I couldn't find anything like that with this. But I liked these. I felt like they weren't complicated. I thought she would know what most of this stuff is. She doesn't know what all of them are, but I mean, just another way to learn with those sheets. Next up is something that I've been meaning to get a hold of for a long time, and I finally got it done and I'm so relieved, but it is phone numbers. So the first one is emergency. So as you can see, we have a police car, a fire truck, and an ambulance, and it is a smartphone, and that has like basically what my iPhone looks like for her to dial things. And down here I remove these, like I mentioned with the continents, I remove the numbers on here before I give it to her, but it says an emergency call, and she needs to put the numbers how they go. So I live in the United States, so it is 911 for us, so she could also practice pressing 911. I just liked this. I've seen other versions, but they had kind of older style of telephones, and we don't have a home phone in our house, we just use cell phones, so it was important that there was like a smartphone on there, and I really liked the removable thing on there. I just thought that was really neat. But I mainly got it because it did come in a pack, but I got it for this one. This is my phone number. So Mark and I went back and forth on which cell phone number would be used, but basically it does have the spaces for at least American mobile phones. I'm not sure other countries if they have something to adapt that, but basically for American cell phones they have this little thing, and I have Velcro dots all down the bottom of here. I just brought one digit over here to show you, but basically you cut out the digits of your phone number and you would pull these off and you would have your child arrange your phone number to whatever it might be. And they can also, like I said, practice up here on the phone. And it came with a whole sheet of 1 through 9. And I think there was about 7 of each number. So that way you really can customize. You might even, depending on what your numbers are, might be able to do more than one number. Like maybe I could have done Mark's number as well, but she right now is just working on mastering one phone number. This is something just really important to us, and I've been meaning to get that done for a while, so that has helped her a lot. Next up is something a little bit more on the fun side, and that is these matching Magnatile, like I don't even know what to call them, pictures, mats, whatever. So basically it's just this picture and it's made up of different size Magnatiles in different shapes, and they just use these to construct different pictures. So this is supposed to be a cat. And then on the back here, we have a flower. And this one's supposed to be a star. Sorry for the glare, guys, I know. But it basically just uses all the different shapes of the Magnatiles to create different actual things. This one we're still working with. I think she doesn't understand why we're just not building with the Magnatiles, but it is fun. It's nice to see her match the different sizes and put things together. And it's not until she gets all the Magnatiles that she really sees what she made, and it's really cute. But that's more of like just a fun activity. This next one is just another fun matching activity for the girls that I got, and this one is just all kinds of different fruits. So we've got an apple, a coconut, I don't know if coconut's a fruit actually, lemon, lime, watermelon, a kiwi, and an orange. And then basically when you pull them off, this is what it looks like. So you're just matching the fruit, and this is fun. I mean, we just learn new fruits, which Sophie knows most of these, but not all of them. And it's just kind of fun for them to do. It's all the same shape, so Remy really does have a field day. Remy really can't match them up, but she thinks she's doing something, and that's all that matters. Next up is probably Sophie's least favorite of the bunch, and that is number tracing. I found this excellent set, and it is also double-sided. Oh, some glare there. But I really liked this one because it had red dots for where you should start and to where to go. But Sophie just doesn't really like tracing numbers. She prefers letters or shapes or whatever. I'm not really sure why, but I did like these. Again, with the size and everything, I felt like it's not too small, not too big. It's just just a good beginner kind of size for her. And, you know, have all the numbers 1 through 9. Or 0 through 9, I'm sorry. Next up is something that I thought I wasn't going to be able to show you guys because I couldn't find the link for it. I didn't save it to my Pinterest board, but last minute I was able to find it, and I'm so excited that I can show you guys. So like I mentioned, I do try to stick to real life photos when I can. That's something about Montessori I really agree with. I feel like my kids learn things faster when I use real life pictures. So instead of an animated drawing of a dog, I'll use a picture of a dog. So this is something to do with the seasons. I was mainly looking for stuff about sequencing when I stumbled across this, but it works in a ton of different aspects. It could be matching, sequencing, seasons, all kinds of different stuff. So this first picture is the sequencing one. So as you can see, it's all the same tree, but it's just different seasons. So spring, summer, fall, and then winter. And you go ahead and you can remove these. These are all single, so they can just match them. And this is just the key to it. I can take this off and I basically hand it like this with the pictures missing, and we try to put the seasons in order. And then I do keep this around for either Remy or for her because we're still learning the seasons and what they look like and all that good stuff. But there also was another printout, and I decided to put that out of order for when we master the seasons, and that way she's gonna have to match. So fall to fall, spring to spring, winter to winter, stuff like that. So it is a little out of order, and she's gonna have to match them together. Again, just another key down here. But yeah, these have been really great because like I said, they could be used for a number of different things. Next to last thing is the lowercase version of the uppercase that I showed you guys. So the difference between these ones is these are just lines. They don't have the dots. I kind of wish they had the dots, but you know, whatever. Still, she's able to trace these. It is the same exact concept, a word down here to correspond with the letter, a picture up top, and I have the entire alphabet here. But again, this has been really, really awesome in getting her to practice writing her letters. I do have to split it up because she does kind of get bored after a little while, but it has been really, really helpful. She likes the different pictures. If you guys know Sophie, she's been recently obsessed with koalas, so she like loves these little pictures at the top. It's just been really, really helpful in getting her more acquainted with writing and tracing and getting to know her letters even better. The last couple things I had to get up and get for you guys because I almost forgot them, but the first one is being this little alphabet flashcard set. So with Sophie, we didn't use flashcards. We actually used books to teach her the alphabet. However, we don't have those books anymore. So with teaching Remy the alphabet, I needed something different. And I just decided to print something offline and laminate it myself. I liked the size of them. I liked that it wasn't a crazy font. It wasn't really distracting, not super colorful or anything. Just kind of want to get straight to the point. So it is just a bunch, obviously the entire alphabet, not a bunch. I didn't just select random letters. I printed out the entire alphabet. I think it came like 4 on a page, maybe even 6. I can't quite remember, but I just printed those out. And like I said earlier, this was the mistake I made. I should have cut those pieces of paper out and laminated them, and that way they would have been separate in lamination. However, I just stuck the entire page into the laminator sheet and then I printed them out. With some laminators I've seen, they don't keep their hold of lamination. However, mine are okay, at least for now. They're not coming apart because that's exactly what I thought as soon as I started cutting them. These are just going to come undone, but so far they have not. They're still adhered, so that's pretty cool. But I would recommend cutting them out and laminating them separately and apart from each other. I just take these and I put them in a little baggie so we know where those are. And then the last thing that I have to show you, and it was the first thing that I printed out for Sophie and something we've been loving, but it is a little hamburger construction set. So you get these different little pictures over here that obviously has different orders for the different ingredients of the burger to go in, and you would just pick one and you would hand it to your child, and then it has all those corresponding little layers over here. I thought this one was cute just because it had little faces on all the different ingredients for it, but this has been so much fun. Sophie really loves this. Like I said, you could use this as like matching to match whatever picture you give them. The girls really have enjoyed this. Remy, again, doesn't really know what she's doing. A lot of these have been more geared towards Sophie because I feel like I want to get her more ready for preschool, but I am learning that, you know, I could also print out stuff for Remy, which is also kind of dangerous, and my husband's a little scared. I've used like half of a black ink cartridge in like a month's time printing out all this stuff, but I've really enjoyed it, and so have the girls, and it's all free because I mean the ink, the paper, the lamination, it all costs, but you know, it is free stuff for your children to learn. It's a little bit different than usual. And I did want to say the whole reason I printed out the alphabet opposed to just the wipeable books was because I couldn't find anything that I liked, and I just couldn't find anything that was like wholesome, and I could find it. And anything that I could find, it was all separate books. They were like $10 a piece, and for that amount of money I could just buy 100 lamination sheets and do whatever my heart's desires. So I felt like this was the better option to go. I feel like it's more customizable. You can print out stuff that actually pertains to your child, what you're going over, what you want them to learn. There is so much stuff, especially on Pinterest. That is where all of my findings come from for the most part, and I love it. So if you don't follow me over on Pinterest, I would highly recommend it because I do pin the ones that we have printed out and we are loving. My Pinterest board is normally always moving, but whether it's this little hamburger set or the seasons or tracing letters, the girls have really, really loved these. If you have been on the fence about it, I would highly recommend it. I wish I would have had a laminator sooner. I'm sure Mark's glad that I haven't, but nonetheless, me, the girls, everybody have really enjoyed the different activities and the different things that we can get done with these. Let me know if you guys are on the hunt for something particular in the comments. I will try my best to find it. I'm also on the hunt for other little things, and if you want to see more of these videos, also let me know because I love this kind of thing. I love talking about it. Make sure to check out the links down below, like I said, if you're interested in any of the sheets or the stuff that I mentioned. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.